Something extremely rare is happening tonight. Not next month, not next week, tonight. A cosmic alignment so powerful that ancient astrologers believed it could reset the human mind, reveal hidden truths, and open a gateway of awareness that only a few people ever notice. This event is known as Mercury Kazimi. And when this phenomenon happens, Mercury, the planet of thought, communication, and perception, moves directly into the heart of the sun. Astrologers call this position in the throne room of the sun. In that moment, Mercury is no longer just another moving planet in the sky. It becomes supercharged by solar energy. And when that happens, something fascinating begins to unfold. Suddenly, things that once felt confusing start making sense. Hidden information begins to surface. Conversations reveal deeper meanings. And people all over the world report experiencing sudden flashes of insight. The kind that make them stop and think, wait, how did I suddenly realize this? But here's the mysterious part. Events like this don't affect everyone the same way. Most people will go through tonight exactly like any other night. Scrolling their phones, watching TV, falling asleep without noticing anything unusual. But a small number of people will feel something shift. A strange clarity, a sudden idea, an unexpected realization. And if you found this video right now, there's a strong possibility that you are one of the people meant to notice it. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to reveal something important. Why the March 7th Mercury Kazimi is considered one of the most powerful clarity portals of the year. What kind of messages the universe tends to deliver during this alignment. And the one simple thing you can do tonight that may help you receive the insight this cosmic moment is trying to reveal. So don't click away, because sometimes the universe doesn't shout. Sometimes it waits for the exact right moment to whisper the truth. To understand why tonight matters, we first need to understand what Mercury Kazimi actually is. In astrology, Mercury represents one of the most powerful forces in your daily life. Your mind, your thoughts, your communication, and the way you interpret reality. Every decision you make, every idea you form, every conversation you have is influenced by Mercury's energy. Normally, Mercury moves quickly through the sky, constantly shifting positions and influencing how we process information. That's why sometimes your mind feels sharp and clear, and other times everything feels confusing or overwhelming. But during a Kazimi, something extraordinary happens. Mercury moves so close to the sun that astrologers say it enters the very heart of the sun itself. The word Kazimi comes from an ancient Arabic phrase meaning exactly that, in the heart of the sun. And according to traditional astrology, when a planet sits in this rare position, it becomes purified and empowered by the sun's energy. Think of the sun as a powerful cosmic spotlight. Anything that enters its center becomes fully illuminated. Illusions burn away, confusion dissolves, and what remains is pure clarity. That's why Mercury Kazimi has been associated for centuries with moments of sudden understanding and truth. People often report experiencing strange but powerful realizations during this alignment. Suddenly, something they couldn't understand for months begins to make perfect sense. A conversation reveals a hidden truth. An idea appears that changes the direction of their life. Or they experience a moment of clarity so strong that they think, why didn't I see this before? Astrologers often describe Mercury Kazimi as a cosmic mental reset, a brief moment when the mind becomes aligned with higher awareness. During this alignment, Mercury's natural powers become amplified, which is why Mercury Kazimi has long been linked to sudden realizations, hidden truths coming to light, powerful mental breakthroughs, and deep intuitive insights. It's almost as if the universe temporarily turns up the volume on your inner voice. Ideas become louder, truth becomes clearer, and messages that were once hidden suddenly reveal themselves. But here's the fascinating part. These moments don't last forever. Mercury moves quickly, which means the Kazimi window is short and rare. And that's exactly why astrologers pay so much attention when it happens. Because tonight, that cosmic window opens once again. Not every Mercury Kazimi carries the same intensity. Yes, the alignment itself is rare. But sometimes, the cosmic timing around it makes the event even more powerful. And that's exactly what makes March 7th different. Because this alignment is happening during a period when the collective energy of humanity is already shifting. Look around the world right now. More people are questioning things they once accepted without hesitation. Old beliefs are being challenged. Systems that seemed permanent are starting to crack. And conversations about consciousness, spirituality, and personal awakening are appearing everywhere. People are asking deeper questions. Questions like, why am I here? What is my real purpose? Am I truly living the life I'm meant to live? Moments like this in history are often described by astrologers as cosmic awakening windows. These are periods when the collective awareness of humanity begins to expand faster than usual. It's almost like the world is slowly waking up from a long sleep. During these windows, certain astrological alignments become far more influential than they normally would. And Mercury Kazimi is one of them. Because when Mercury enters the heart of the sun during a time of collective questioning, the effect can feel like someone suddenly turning on a powerful light in a dark room. Things you couldn't see before suddenly become visible. Ideas that once felt confusing start to connect. Truth that was buried under noise and distraction suddenly rises to the surface. This is why astrologers often compare Mercury Kazimi to a cosmic flashlight. It doesn't create the truth. The truth was already there. But the light allows you to finally see it clearly. And sometimes that clarity arrives in surprising ways. A conversation that feels ordinary suddenly contains a message meant specifically for you. A random video appears on your screen that answers a question you've been asking for months. A thought appears in your mind that changes how you see your entire path. These moments might look small on the surface, but internally, they can be life-changing. Because clarity is powerful. When confusion disappears, decisions become easier. When truth becomes visible, pretending not to see it becomes impossible. And that's exactly the type of energy Mercury Kazimi activates. It shines directly on the things we've been avoiding, the truths we've quietly ignored, the paths we secretly know we're meant to follow, but haven't fully accepted yet. For some people, this might reveal the need to change direction. For others, it might confirm that they're already moving exactly where they're supposed to go. But here's the mysterious part. The universe rarely sends messages in loud, dramatic ways. It usually prefers something far more subtle. Instead of a huge announcement from the sky, the universe often communicates through signs, patterns, and synchronicities. Small moments that feel strangely meaningful. Things that make you pause and think, was that just a coincidence? Or was that meant for me? During powerful alignments not like Mercury Kazimi, these subtle signals can appear more frequently. A repeating number catches your attention. A thought keeps returning to your mind. A dream feels unusually vivid. Or a message appears at exactly the moment you needed it most. And the fascinating thing is, many people report experiencing these moments within hours of a Kazimi alignment, which raises an interesting question. If Mercury Kazimi is opening a window of clarity tonight, how exactly does the universe deliver those messages? Because in the next part, we're going to explore something many people experience during cosmic alignments. And once you understand it, you may start noticing these signals everywhere. During Mercury Kazimi, messages don't always arrive in obvious ways. In fact, most of the time they appear in forms that feel subtle, almost mysterious. Some people experience a sudden moment of clarity about their life direction. A decision that once felt confusing suddenly becomes obvious. Others begin noticing strange patterns or repeating signs appearing throughout their day. These are often called synchronicities. You might suddenly start seeing repeating numbers like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, or 7, 7, 7. At first, it might seem like a coincidence. You check the time and it's 11:11. Later, you see 222 on a receipt. Then 777 appears on a license plate while driving home. Individually, these moments might not seem significant, but when they begin appearing repeatedly, many people feel as if something deeper is happening, almost like the universe is trying to get their attention. And numbers are only one form these signals can take. During powerful cosmic alignments, people often report having unusually vivid dreams. Dreams that feel different from normal ones, more intense, more emotional, sometimes even symbolic. You might wake up with a clear memory of a dream that seems to contain a message or guidance about something happening in your life. Other times, the message appears through everyday moments. You might randomly hear a sentence in a conversation that feels strangely relevant to a problem you've been thinking about. Or a video, article, or song suddenly appears with words that feel like they were meant specifically for you. These experiences are what psychologists and spiritual thinkers call synchronicity. The famous psychologist Carl Jung once described synchronicity as an causal connecting principle. In other words, events that appear unrelated suddenly line up in ways that create meaningful patterns. Not because they were planned, but because something deeper seems to be connecting them. Think of it like pieces of a puzzle suddenly snapping together. At first, each piece seems random, but when enough pieces appear, the bigger picture begins to reveal itself. And this is where Mercury Kazimi becomes especially interesting. Because Mercury governs communication, thought, and information. The sun represents consciousness, illumination, and awareness. When Mercury moves directly into the heart of the sun, these two energies merge. Communication becomes illuminated. Thought becomes sharper. Awareness becomes stronger. It's almost like your internal signal receiver becomes more sensitive. Subtle messages that might normally go unnoticed suddenly stand out. Ideas arrive faster. Connections become clearer. And many people report experiencing moments where they suddenly realize something important about their life, something that had been right in front of them all along, but they simply hadn't noticed yet. That's why during Mercury Kazimi, clarity can appear in surprising ways. A problem you've been struggling with suddenly has a solution. A decision you've been avoiding suddenly feels obvious. Or a realization appears that completely shifts the way you see your future. And when that moment happens, it often feels almost instantaneous, like a light turning on in a dark room. Suddenly, everything becomes visible, but here's the fascinating detail many people overlook. These signs and synchronicities don't appear randomly. They often appear when someone is standing at a turning point in their life. moments when a person is close to making an important decision, moments when they're ready to move in a new direction. And that leads us to something even more intriguing, because not everyone will feel the effects of this cosmic alignment, but the people who do often have something very specific happening in their lives right now. And in the next part, we're going to reveal exactly why some people feel a Mercury Kazimi far more strongly than others. Here's something fascinating about cosmic events like Mercury Kazimi. Not everyone experiences them in the same way. For some people, tonight will feel completely normal. Just another evening. They'll go about their routine, scroll through their phone, watch something online, and eventually fall asleep without noticing anything unusual. But for others, something will feel different, not dramatic, not overwhelming. Just a quiet but noticeable shift in awareness. A moment where thoughts suddenly become clearer. A realization appears. Or an inner feeling begins to whisper that something in life is about to change. Why does this happen? Astrologers believe Mercury Kazimi tends to activate people who are already in the middle of personal transformation, people who are standing at a moment in their life where change is already beginning to unfold. Maybe that sounds familiar to you. Maybe recently you've been questioning your direction, thinking about whether the path you're on truly reflects who you are becoming. Maybe you felt restless, like something in your life is ready to evolve. Or maybe you've sensed something even harder to explain. A strange inner feeling that something bigger is approaching, even though you can't fully describe what it is yet. Moments like these are often called life crossroads. Those rare points in life where the decisions you make can change your direction for years to come. And interestingly, many people report that during these periods, they start experiencing moments of unexpected clarity. Ideas appear suddenly. New opportunities show up. Conversations lead to surprising realizations. And sometimes, the answer they've been searching for arrives in the most unexpected way. This is exactly the kind of moment Mercury Kazimi is known for activating. Because when Mercury enters the heart of the sun, it illuminates the mind. Thoughts become sharper. Truth becomes easier to recognize, and confusion that once clouded your decisions begins to fade away. Sometimes the message arrives as a simple realization, a thought that suddenly makes everything clear. Other times, the message arrives through opportunity, a chance encounter, a new idea, or an unexpected door opening exactly when you needed it. But sometimes the message is even more powerful than that. Sometimes Mercury Kazimi doesn't bring new information at all. Instead, it gives you something far more important. The courage to finally act. The courage to make a decision you've been delaying. The courage to step away from something that no longer aligns with who you are. Or the courage to finally move towards something you've secretly known was meant for you all along. Because clarity without action changes nothing. But clarity combined with courage can completely transform a person's path. And that's why many astrologers see Mercury Kazimi as a moment of mental awakening. A brief window where the mind becomes aligned with truth, where hesitation begins to disappear, and where the next step forward suddenly becomes visible. But here's the part most people don't realize. These moments of clarity don't last forever. Mercury moves quickly through the sky, which means the energetic window created by a Kazimi alignment is short. And that's exactly why tonight matters, because in the next part, we're going to talk about something incredibly important. The short cosmic window that opens during Mercury Kazimi, and why the next few hours could bring insights you won't want to miss. Astrologers believe that Mercury Kazimi creates a short but powerful energetic window, a moment when the mind becomes unusually clear and far more receptive than normal. Think of it like this. Most of the time, the signals of intuition, insight, and awareness are quiet, almost like a distant radio station. You can hear it, but the signal isn't always strong. But during a Kazimi, something fascinating happens. It's as if the universe briefly turns the signal strength to maximum. Suddenly, your thoughts feel sharper. Ideas begin flowing more easily. Connections that once felt confusing start making sense, and insights can appear almost instantly, like flashes of understanding that seem to come out of nowhere. This is why many spiritual traditions throughout history have paid attention to moments like this, not with complicated rituals or elaborate ceremonies, but with something far simpler. Quiet awareness, just a few minutes of stillness, a moment to pause the noise of the outside world and simply observe your thoughts. Because when the mind becomes calm during powerful cosmic alignments, something interesting often happens. Answers begin to surface naturally. Ideas rise to the surface, and realizations appear that were hidden beneath distraction and noise. Sometimes the most powerful guidance doesn't arrive through effort. Sometimes it arrives the moment we finally allow ourselves to listen. If you want to align with tonight's Mercury Kazimi, try one simple practice. Take a quiet moment and ask yourself one powerful question. What truth have I been avoiding? Then pause. No distractions, no rushing. At first, nothing may happen. But within a few minutes, something surprising often appears. A forgotten memory, a sudden idea, or a realization that feels incredibly clear. That's the energy of Mercury Kazimi. When Mercury enters the heart of the sun, the mind becomes illuminated, and in that light, certain truths become impossible to ignore. Tonight's Mercury Kazimi is more than just a cosmic alignment. It's a rare moment when clarity becomes louder than confusion. Most people will pass through this night without noticing anything unusual, but a few will feel a subtle shift, a thought that suddenly makes sense, an idea that refuses to leave their mind, a quiet message that feels strangely personal. And the real question is, will you notice it? If this message found you tonight, comment below. I am ready for the message. Because sometimes the universe whispers, but during Mercury Kazimi, those whispers can change your entire path.